So the the left side of my back is being pulsed, and that's the 4 right there. Here's my hand. So there's a lot of electricity in my body. So more than one person is logged on. See the RF reading went up there? See the RF reading there? That's my hand. Take my hand away. Put my hand back on. It's my hand. Go on the detector. Take my hand away. See how much electricity there is in my hand? Put my hand back on. See how high that RF reading was? That's a hit on my arm for doing what I'm doing. The right arm is suddenly starting to hurt. So the RF reading went up to 15. From the range of 0 to 5, it went up to 15, 16. Because I'm streaming. So my stomach is starting to cramp up. Went up to 25 there. See the RF reading went up. Somebody else logged on. So the back is being pulsed. That's my ribs there. Did you hear that? Can you hear that alarm? That's the alarm. This is my hand. That's my ribs. See the hand there? So much electricity is in my hand. So quite a few people are logged on. See the RF reading went up from 0 to 5 to all the way up to 25. Because right now I'm in pain and my nose is suddenly starting to run. I'm perfectly fine. I woke up fine. Before I sat in front of the computer, my nose was not running. I did not have a temperature. And I'll show you the temperature. Let's see if the temperature goes up here. I'll show you my temperature. 36.5. 36.6. So I don't have a fever. And the temperature spikes are consistent with the spikes in the numbers in the detector. So the longer I sit here, the more severe the symptoms of a flu get. So do I have COVID? No, I don't. So my point is, since PK, the Chinese trafficker, is experimenting with me, and exactly the same template is being used, the MK Ultra template is being used on me, the exact template is being used globally. Therefore, the people who are just keeling over suddenly might just be targets like myself who are in a convenient place or who were on a list, just like my name was on a list since after 9/11. These people may have been on a list and they're being picked off to be killed off. And some of the people who are being killed off to terrorize people, nurses, the police, Marines, soldiers, all in the right places to convey the message that, oh my God, anybody can get it anywhere, anytime. So there's a lot of things going on here and I'm saying this because of my personal experience that I demonstrated for years. The cops are lying, and the cops are allowed to experiment like this because the quote unquote infiltrated people in the government is allowing them to do it. So the things that we're being told by the quote unquote government, just like the lies that's being told to me, are the global community being lied to by our governments. See that 35 there? That was a huge pulse on my kidney area. Sudden death. Did I not read somewhere that people in China, in Wuhan province, are just dropping dead like flies? Just dropping. Just dying suddenly. Now it's up to 25. So what is in the virus? If the virus is man-made, is it programmed in a certain way to react a certain way in certain conditions? We're I'm not saying that the people in the government who's talking know everything. I'm suspecting that they don't know everything. I'm suspecting that did the temperature go up there by 5 degrees, by 0.5 degrees? I think it did. I think they are being bamboozled. Maybe it's not an intentional lie. So just like my family are insiders on the committee and they kept on experimenting on me, just like the workers and some of the residents in the building are experimenting on me. They have committee meetings and people are competing for the board, to be on board, to be a member of the committee. I heard my neighbors are doing that. People have different ethnic backgrounds in the building. Muslims, Indians, Blacks, Somalis, Japanese. They're competing and they're keeping information from one another. They're trying to build a file and they're competing for the seat and they're keeping information from one another. Is the same scenario going on with the COVID-19 virus? What is the virus exactly? So my rib is being pulsed, just like you're being lied to, I suspect. I'm being lied to as well. So I'm being pulsed. That's my hand. Putting my hand back on. Take my hand away. Putting my hand back on. Notice when I put my hand where the sensor is, two things happen. EF goes up and RF goes down. So my hand is conducting electricity, which makes the EF go up. The RF is shielding the sensor that's at the top of the detector, meaning that the signals are coming from above. Take my hand away, and the RF immediately goes up, right up to 36. So the signals are coming from above my unit. The microwave signals are coming from above the unit. The EF signals are coming from, could be any direction. It's pulsing my body and heating up my body. So the RF signal is a different technology. The EF signal is an active denial type technology using millimeter wave to heat up your body and has a high electrical component, which my hand is demonstrating. See that, the EF and the RF goes down. So the hand, so that's my hand on here. Oops, just take that off. So that's my hand. See, that's my hand there. I'm holding it. The EF immediately goes down when I take my hand away. So I'm going to put my hand back on. So that's my hand on. Notice the EF. Put my hand back on. So the RF went up to 24. So that was a huge pulse on the left knee back area and the stomach. So the right side, it feels like something is gripping the right side. So from the top of the kidney area, around the obliques to the rib and front, right underneath the right breast, it feels like something is gripping the rib. Like there is a hand in the back and a hand in front, and it's pressing together, exerting pressure on the body. That's what it feels like. So the RF signals penetrates the body deeper. It penetrates the muscle tissue, and it exerts pressure deeper into the muscle and the body cavity. The EF, when the EF is high, it burns the skin. It creates pain, sustained pain, and it inflames when it's on for a long time. So two different kinds of technologies are being used right now. We are being lied to. And I've demonstrated several times that when the RF reading goes up over 500, you immediately starts getting arrhythmia, and you can go into cardiac arrest because of the arrhythmia. There's quite a few times where it went on for about half an hour, and my blood pressure went very, very, very low. So, and once I shielded and I iced myself down and I triggered the parasympathetic system that shuts down the blood flow from the extremities and send the blood to where it's needed, the heart and the brain, to the vital organs. It avoided a heart attack. I would not have had time to pick up the phone or to dial 911. I would not have had time to do that. They would not have a time to save me. At the time the ambulance got here, I would have been dead. So yeah, these signals kill. And we know that there is the 5G being rolled out. We know that directed energy weapons are being used by people like PK or people like myself. The quote unquote government knows it. The cops are using it because the cops are experimenting, they're behind it. So it's all a conspiracy. I suspect that part of the COVID situation that we're in right now is being driven by these criminals. I suspect that the virus itself was intentionally released to provide cover for this operation. The virus itself, I suspect, is not dangerous. I suspect. My opinion. What is making it look like it's dangerous is the use of directed energy weapons and maybe 5G to exacerbate the symptoms. And for weak people, old people, vulnerable people, maybe babies who don't have an immune system yet, these people could die quickly. But why heart attack and pneumonia? Why heart attack and pneumonia as leading causes of death from a cold virus, a heart attack from a cold virus? I could see pneumonia, but how does, a lot of people die of heart attacks? There's something else going on here. I could see pneumonia. I could see people dying of pneumonia, the old people. But why heart attacks? For people who are not in the vulnerable category. It doesn't make sense. So let me make clear, I am not saying that COVID virus is not real. It's very real. It's absolutely real. I'm not saying that people are dying of it and not dying of it. They are. And some deaths are directly related to it. But I'm also saying that it's being used as a cover for other operations by people such as PK, who I'm demonstrated right now is affecting me with directed energy weapons, producing flu-like symptoms, producing heart attacks, producing pneumonia, using using things like active denial systems and radar-like technology using microwaves. See those numbers? These are not normal numbers. These numbers should be way, way, way lower than this. That RF number should be 0 to 1. And there are times that it is 0, absolutely 0, when I'm outside. But as soon as I come in here, it increases. The EMF technology, the EMF reading there is your Wi-Fi, is the cell phone. I'm providing proof of lies being told to us. The cops lied to me. The cops are working for the Ontario government. They're under the Ontario government's jurisdiction, right? And I'm not the only one who's talking about being abused and tortured with directed energy weapons. This information went to court. Other victims did it. And we know that the police knows about it. The police has also been taken to court. We know there's trafficking. My hand. Take my hand away. 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 My hand. Notice the RF reading. Notice the opposite effect, the EF reading versus the RF reading. Take the hand away. I'm being tracked. I'm tagged. It's causing flu-like symptoms. That 43 was a pulse on my thighs. My hand. Take my hand away. The back of the neck and the shoulders are being pulsed. And that's it right there, 25. My hand. Take my hand away. My hand. Take my hand away. Proof that the government, quote unquote, is lying to us. Directed energy weapons are being used on us. If it's being used on Omar Rampersad, it's being used on other people. There's money to be made from providing masks, providing respirators, vaccines. What is in the vaccine? There is money to be made for us to be tracked, chipping us. There is money to be made from surveilling us. This is a power grab. It's somebody wanting to have power over us, to control us, like PK and the dirty cops and 42nd Division is controlling me. These signals is what's going to happen to you. This is what the COVID-19, I suspect, is all about. It's about chipping us and tracking us because we're already, the federal government is already talking about using cell phones to track you. This is where it's leading up to. It's a power grab. Justin Trudeau wanted the ability to tax people unilaterally. It's a power grab. This is what's meant for everybody. This is a template that's being used at 25 Bamberg Circle by the Chinese traffickers. And that's another abuse of the system, trafficking. This is what happens when you have an oppressive government. There is no human rights. Just like in China. China was an example. It was used as a template. And now the template is going to be applied to everybody in our world. See how high that 60 is? I want to go to the bathroom suddenly. Suddenly, I want to go to the bathroom. This is what the RF does. Just change the frequency, and your body could be manipulated any which way as needed. They can take your eyes out. They can give you a headache. They can take your throat out. They can inflame your lungs. They can give you a heart attack. They can make you go to the bathroom. They can give you diarrhea. It's all about frequencies. That's 60. Suddenly I wanted to go to the bathroom. The signals drop and I don't want to go to the bathroom anymore. And I mean to empty your bowels, go to the bathroom. And this is what these signals do. And suddenly I don't want to go to the bathroom anymore. But there you go, 30. So that the stomach is constantly being pulsed. So the idea, of course, is to get up from where I am and stop doing what I'm doing. Remember 9/11 when you had two airplanes flying into the World Trade Center? Wasn't that terrorizing? I'm still recovering. Still recovering. So what actually happened? Two airplanes fly into the World Trade Center, and suddenly the buildings collapsed, and there was only dust. How is it possible that the building could collapse and all that could be found was debris that was so small, nothing could be identified, bodies could not be found, they were vaporized. And I hear the comments outside the window that we're going to vaporize you all the time. They're going to vaporize you. By the way, microwaves also shrinks you. And it affects all your hormones. It doesn't, you don't grow properly. If you're a child, you don't mature properly. You have to have a cover. I suspect microwave technologies were being used by criminals to affect the buildings in such a way under the cover of the crash of the airplanes running into it, to pulverize the building. So the evidence of what went on was going to disappear. It does not make sense that the building will collapse and all that will be found is some steel and dust, basically dust. This is not how buildings collapse. This is not how buildings collapse. But microwaves pulverizes everything. Scalar technology pulverizes everything. I suspect even our governments are being bamboozled. Our governments are being bamboozled. There are some people in the government who are in the know, and there are some people who are not in the know. Just like 25 Bamberg Circle have a committee, and some people are part of the committee and some people are not part of that committee. Some people are in the know and some people are not in the know. Exactly the same thing that's going on in our government. So I am absolutely not anti-government. However, the people who are infiltrated in the government are following this agenda. It's a new world order agenda. It's satanic, it's anti-human, it's anti-human rights. Our governments have been infiltrated. So somebody keeps slamming the door in the corridor. So I just got hit on the hip. I heard a Muslim man just absconded. There's a comment outside the window. The Muslims had it. A Muslim man saved me. Part of the trafficking that's going on under cover of PK and his friends flagging with the cops. I heard the Muslims in the building is constantly calling the cops because they're looking at me inside of my home. So my hip is being pulsed, and that's the 24, 25 right there. Sustained. See, it's holding on to 25, 26. Pain. intense pain, sharp pains into the hip. See, it's holding on to 24, 25. It's not pulsing. I put my hand on and the RF reading goes down. So which means that the signals are coming from above. Yeah, 28, another pulse. And yes, it hurts right now. The back is hurting. The right side of the back is hurting. 26, that was a pulse on the back. And of course, after a while of doing this, it gets completely inflamed. And the pain subsided. The eyes are being pulsed, and that's the 18. Every pulse in that detector is a hit on my body. Every pulse up and down is a hit on my body at varying levels of pain. Knowing that the quote unquote government is behind this, do you think the quote unquote government is telling you the truth about COVID? Given that they're taking away your rights, your right to leave your house, the right to walk in a park where there's no people, do you think that the quote unquote government is telling you the truth about this? It's the same quote unquote government that the PK is playing with.